It's December 4th. It's really early in the morning, and I think I might be getting engaged today.
Well, this is kind of an exciting video. Why do I feel like I'm gonna cry? Oh my gosh, do not cry. Don't you dare cry. You have somewhere to be after this. I set up a whole camera shot in the living room with like the Christmas tree in the background and all of that, and it just didn't feel right? I don't know, or like authentic. I feel like this whole video is kind of like we're friends on FaceTime, and that's not how I would be FaceTiming my friends. I would be sitting on my bedroom floor. So that's what I've opted to do. There's really no point in doing any fanfare or secrets because you clicked on the title of this video, you've seen the thumbnail, and you probably follow me on other social media where I have shared this, but I have yet to share the story. So if you close your eyes and didn't know what video you clicked on, I am engaged. That is so weird. Like, it's so weird. I can't explain it other than the fact that like it feels like I'm a child bride. Like I'm not. I'm not a teenager. Every stage of my life I always thought I was gonna feel a lot more grown up than I actually do. Like I think the time I felt most grown up for my age when I was probably like a teenager, and I wasn't. The older I get, the more I'm like, people are allowed to do this? Like when my friends are getting engaged, or like, I don't have any friends who are like my age having babies yet, but I'm sure the first one that does, will be like, they let you take that home? But I wanted to tell you all kind of the story of how it happened. Despite the fact that I have shared so much of my life online, I am still a very private person. I have like really made a conscious choice to have like memories and like life stuff that's not on YouTube, just having a life that looks good in real life too, and not just so much for cameras. So when I looked up like proposal videos on YouTube to like figure out how I should edit this or film this, I was met with like all those drone shots with those crazy professional videographers like recording a proposal, and that's just not me or my style or really like our style at all. So this is gonna be a little bit different. I actually filmed a lot during the day leading up to the proposal. I filmed it almost all vertically. Don't ask me why. The only reason why I can think is because it felt kind of like FaceTime. I desperately wanted to like FaceTime one of my friends and talk to one of my friends and just kind of, I don't know, go through that like excitement nerves together. Like, what am I gonna wear? Like, what am I gonna do? Like all of that. So a lot of it is vertical, but because I was doing it in like a FaceTiming kind of way, I really didn't give a lot of context or like explanation. So I wanted to make sure it was like cohesive and you could follow along. The two biggest questions that people ask is, how did he do it? And were you surprised? Like, did you know it was going to happen? I am a firm believer that you should never be surprised that you're getting engaged or being proposed to. I think the actual event of the proposal should be a surprise, but the fact that like someone wants to marry you and you want to get married to this person and start a future together, that shouldn't be a surprise. That should be a conversation you have ahead of time. So we've always talked about that. We both knew that's where our future was headed. I've made so many jokes online, specifically Instagram, about like not being engaged and how he hadn't proposed yet. All of those I've always cleared with him ahead of time. It was always a joke. He was the one who was ready to do it before me, and I wanted to wait until I was like a little bit older or felt a little bit more ready, and this was basically the year that it was. So like as soon as 2021 started, I was like, okay, anytime this year, you can totally propose. But I also wanted to try on rings before. I'm not gonna get into all of that. If you have questions, maybe I'll do like an engagement video or just like a Q&A where I can answer questions about like why we tried on rings before, or maybe I'll talk about that later in this video. I basically knew that after like summer, it was probably going to happen. So let's start at the very beginning of the story. So about a week prior to all of this, I got a text message from my future sister-in-law, Matz's sister-in-law, and her husband was on there on the text thread with Matz, and she basically said, hey, could you take some pictures of us with our son, my nephew, for the holidays? And I always do this. Like I take Halloween pictures for him. I did pictures for him like last holiday season. We did lots of cute Christmas photos. Like I always will do this. We want to do it at this park on this day. Would that work for you both? We want to have some pictures of you and him and Matz and him all together so we can give them to like Matz's parents for Christmas and all of that. And I was like, yeah, cool. I have no idea at this point. Like this isn't even like raising any sort of suspicions. This is a very normal thing. And Matz responded in the chain because he was at work. He was like, oh, I'm golfing that day. I'll just meet you there. I texted him off like separate, being like, are you sure you don't want to reschedule? Like, will you be able to make it? It's supposed to be at like 11:30 and like it's pretty early. It'll be the earliest time you'll ever come home from golf. And I like nagged him like that night too to be like, I don't think you're gonna be able to make it. And he was just like completely acting. It was wonderful. If only he could bring that acting to self-tapes when he helps me. So because he was just gonna meet us there after golf, Matz's brother was like, okay, I'll just pick you up on the way, Meghan, if that works. And they live right down the street from us. Like we live so close to them, and it's like a very normal thing that he would just drive me. No suspicions there at all. I didn't suspect anything that entire week. And then that Friday, so the day before the actual proposal, I was on Zoom with Melissa, who's my podcast producer and co-host, and we were working. I texted her, I think before we got on Zoom, and I was like, I really need to get my nails done. I need to get a fill or probably just like a full set. Do you want to go? And she was like, sure, I could go on Thursday. And I was like, great, perfect. And then when we were on Zoom, she was like, hey, so I tried to find a place that could take us on Thursday, and like I don't know why, but there's like literally no appointments. And she's like, and 2 of my nails just peeled off, so I found a place at 9 a.m. tomorrow. If that's not too early, I can totally cancel. And I was like, well, here I am like doing the math in my head of being like, well, will I be able to like make it here? It's like, she knows, like she completely knows what I am doing tomorrow. She knows the timing, the schedule of everything. But I just like really need to be like, get to where I'm taking the pictures at 11:30. Basically books a place near there, which I didn't realize. In that morning, I was like, why is it so like random place? She's like, yeah, we're going in Brentwood. I was like, that's random. She was like, in my head, I was like, no, it's not random. That's where you're getting engaged. I had zero suspicions. I think she did a really good job at like throwing me off. She did later on tell me that she like wanted to see how bad my nails were. If I tell her, let's book a nail appointment, I think she's gonna know. And so it was like perfect timing that she was able to do all of this, and like I was the one who brought up the idea. A couple of hours later, we are on Zoom working, and then we're wrapping it up. And as we wrap up, she was like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna wear a cute outfit tomorrow because I have something to do after we get our nails done. And this is something we always do, something I do with all of my friends. What are we wearing? Are we looking cute? Are we wearing real clothes? Are we not? So like one of us doesn't show up like in sweatpants and a stained t-shirt, and the other person's in like full outfit makeup. Then I said, oh yeah, I actually probably should wear makeup too and an outfit because I have to take pictures after and I have to be in some that's, and as I was like literally like, and I'm probably getting engaged tomorrow. And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, maybe I'm getting engaged tomorrow. And she was like, no, you're not. So that night the seed was like planted in my head. I wasn't sure at all. And I was like, okay, so do I wash my hair? Do I shower? Like, what do I do? I just didn't know what to do because I really wanted to be surprised because I had ruined it the other time, personally, I think he ruined it the other time, whatever. I wanted to be surprised. I just kind of went to bed like thinking about it, but being like, no, could not sleep all night. Literally woke up at like 6 a.m., which is when he got up to go golfing. And as he was getting ready and he saw I woken up, he was like, hey, don't forget to bring either some clothes to change into or something else to wear that you want for pictures for Christmas. And I was like, okay, are you bringing something? Because in my head, I'm like, are you gonna propose in like a sweaty golf shirt? Because like, please don't do that. He was like, yeah, no, I'm bringing clothes to change into. And so I said, so can I wear jeans or should I wear something nicer? He's like, maybe wear a dress. And I was like, okay. I could not go back to sleep. I was just wired. And that is where I will take you to the morning of clips. And I repeat some of the things I just said. I think it's kind of sweet to see it in the moment and the processing of it in my mind. So we'll toss to those and then I'll come back. Here's why I think I'm getting engaged today. Mats this morning was like, he was like, oh, don't forget to like wear a cute outfit so we can take pictures. And I was like, okay. And like, yes, that is something that I think we'll do. But like, now that I'm just like kind of just thinking about it, I feel like originally he's golfing. He's gonna meet me there. And I was like, we should just reschedule like the pictures. So I don't think you'll be able to make it in time if you're gonna be in some of these photos if you come straight from golf. And he's like, no, it'll totally be fine. And his brother was like, like to me, he's like, I'll pick you up on the way to like where we'll go to go take pictures. I didn't think anything of it, but then like Melissa, when we were getting our nails done, she was like, oh yeah, like where are you taking the pictures? And I like told her and she was like, I'll just drop you off. So like nobody has me having my car driving. I don't know. Like I didn't wash my hair. Maybe this is just gonna be my first instance of being like, am I getting engaged right now? And I'm not. And I'm like so nervous. Like, what do I wear? I didn't wash my hair. Before he went to go golf, he was like, oh, we ran out of coffee, which is true. And like this happened, I'm reading into everything. But he was like, we're out of coffee. So like, I'll just order you a coffee bean in like 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And I love coffee bean, but he does that normally. And I picked his date yesterday and he was like looking at it like slightly concerned. He was like, no, it looks fine. These pictures? I don't know. Oh, I've charged my cameras. I don't even know if I'm really taking photos. And here's the other thing, I can't like text my friends to be like, I think I'm getting engaged today, because then I will just be like
clocking their replies if I think they're lying. Like if I think that they know something. So I'm just like alone. I think I might be getting engaged today. I don't know. 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 I think I don't know. I haven't, like, I should probably shower in general, but like I'm not gonna do it because I don't have time. I mean, no, I don't have time. I do, but I don't, you know what I mean?
I ended up FaceTiming my best friend Sydney, and I started the phone call with being like, I think I'm getting engaged. Don't say anything if you know that I am. I just need to talk to you on the phone to help me pick out my outfit and just distract me while I get ready. And the getting ready process was absolutely chaotic. I was literally running around my apartment like as a chicken with her head cut off. It's his, her, I guess, I mean, depending on whatever gender the chicken is. It's even funnier now in hindsight because Mott's told me he like never actually went golfing. He like stopped at work for a second, then came back, and so he was here waiting in his car like down the street because he knows I wouldn't have my glasses on and I wouldn't be able to see him, waiting for me to leave. And so the idea that he could have probably seen me in the window like running around doing all this stuff, like being absolutely chaotic, is just really funny to me. I get all ready. I'm like very nervous, very excited. I'm also wondering if I'm doing all of this for nothing. Like, you know those TikToks of like, did he just ask me to go on a hike or am I getting engaged? Like, did he just say we should take pictures or am I getting engaged? We go to the nail salon. I'm like talking to the lady who's doing my nails. Very cute. Look at that. 𝗀𝗃, bubble bath, OPI. We're towards the end of the nail appointment and she was like, oh, this is such a pretty color. This looks so nice. I was like, yeah, I wanted something bridal. And she was like, oh, are you getting married? And I was like, no, but I think I'm getting engaged. And she was like, when do you think you're getting engaged? I think today, like I think right after this. My Leo self could not go 5 minutes without telling everybody like, hi, I think something important's gonna happen to me. And so it was really sweet and very me that the entire nail salon was like, oh my God, like show us the nails, like tell me about him. And it was very funny. And because I'm obviously with Melissa, I was like, and she's definitely in on it and she's pretending she doesn't know anything. And Melissa's like dying laughing. Then we get to where he's proposing, which is a park in Beverly Hills. And it's like a very big park that's pretty private in the sense that like it's so big that there are not people like right near you all of the time. Nobody's like watching you get engaged, if you know what I mean. Like it's still pretty intimate, which I really liked. We're running a little bit behind, so I texted like the group chat saying that we were running behind, and Mott's was like, okay, I ended up getting here before you, just text me when you get here. So I called him when we got there, and so he found me where I was and he walked me over, and I was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I have my bag with like the cameras, like I loaded the memory cards, like I put the batteries in, even though in my head I was like, am I even gonna be taking pictures? Here's the thing, I just have to like decide how much of a setup this is because I'm like, am I going to put my memory card in my camera? I will. But then I immediately saw his brother and sister-in-law. Oh, okay, I guess I am just taking pictures. And so I'm like snapping some photos, but I like think it's gonna happen. Like I am still kind of feeling this feeling. I can like see him like getting a little bit nervous. I'm getting nervous. I don't know why. We've been together for like over 6 years and I'm like getting nervous, giddy. I like managed to get a lot of really cute photos of my nephew and like them as a family all together. Oh my God, don't cry. Ugh. Oh my God, why am I doing this? I hate this. This is not, I am not a sentimental person like this. Maybe I'll just try and power through it fast. Not big on showing emotions on camera like this, but it was just like really low key and it was really nice and we were just like taking pictures and then he like tapped me on the shoulder and he was like, well, do you know what would make today even more special? And like got down on one knee and said like, Meghan, will you marry me? And I... Sorry, I don't know. So I obviously said yes. And then we hugged and kissed and he put the ring back in his pocket. I didn't remember this until like a couple hours later. And I was like, wait, can I have it? And he was like, oh yeah, shit, here you go. And he put the ring on my finger. And then when I hugged him, I could feel he was probably gonna hate that I'm including this, but he was drenched in sweat. And I wondered if he was going to be nervous at all because he's not that kind of person. We are so secure in our relationship and like we've talked about this openly for so long that like this wasn't a shock to either of us. So I wondered if he was gonna be nervous at all, but he was so sweaty, so I knew he was. Hold on, let me fix this light. Hopefully that looks better. So while he's putting the ring on my finger, I see out of my peripheral vision someone taking pictures, and it's my friend Taylor, who, if you've heard me talk about like future engagement proposal before, you know that like the only thing, I mean, I asked a couple of things. I said, not at a sports game, something that is like private, and if possible, if someone's there to take photos, I would really want it to be Taylor. I met Taylor because she did photography for my movie, The Honor List, and from there we've just like become really good friends. She's done all of my podcast photography, and she's done my book cover and all of my book promo photography. So she's been there for the really big milestones of like my career and my life, and so she's always also said that she really wants to photograph the engagement if possible, and I was like, that's all I want. The reason why I said I wanted Taylor to photograph it or nobody to do it is because I couldn't envision meeting someone for the first time and having them like take photos, this really intimate moment, and then a lot of the time when you have a photographer, which is what we did, like then we'll take some like extra pictures afterwards. I will include some of them here. I also have a bunch over on my Instagram and on my Twitter. So after I saw Taylor, then Moss's brother and sister-in-law came back out with our nephew. He's 2 now. We're hugging him. We're like, hi, like, are you so excited? And I was showing him, I was like, look what's on my hand. Like, do you like it? And he's like holding my hand like, yes. And I was like, is it sparkly? He's like, yes. Then after we took photos, we came back to our apartment, and we were both like so exhausted that we just kind of like put on sweats and hung out and watched Christmas movies, and we texted / FaceTimed like our closest friends, and then we just like spent the rest of the night ordering chicken wings and takeout. I think we watched The Princess Switch, like the 3rd one. That was like the perfect night. Oh my god, stop getting emotional. I'm just really happy. Ugh.
I gotta head back.
Okay. Are you happy we're engaged?
Yes!
Okay.
Yes!
Now for the part that most people care about. The ring. Here it is. I'm obsessed with it. I like can't even begin to explain to you how pretty and how sparkly it is. Like when I look at my hand, I'm like, whose hand is that? It's an oval solitaire diamond with a thin gold band, and then the setting, the little prongs, are in platinum. Honestly, it just went perfectly. I wouldn't change anything about it. And specifically, I'm so glad I was the level of surprised that I was. If I was any more surprised, I would have not taken the time to wash my bangs in the sink. I would have not put time and effort into my makeup. I wouldn't have put on waterproof mascara, and I wouldn't have really cared about my outfit that much. At one point in the morning, I was like, okay, you have to commit to thinking this is happening. This is the only way you're actually gonna get ready in a way that you would feel comfortable getting engaged today. So it was the perfect level of surprised. If I had had that feeling, like if my cortisol levels were up that high for a whole week, I don't know what I would have done. Like, I think my heart would have stopped. A perfect amount of surprise, the perfect level of surprise, and it was really good on him and everybody for planning it. I thought it was genius because 1, it is hard to get me out of the house and commit to plans without flaking. 2, it is even harder to get me out of the house, commit to plans without flaking, and be wearing makeup and an outfit. So he knew that the key to like me being like, yes, I'll do this, I'll like rearrange my whole schedule if I need to, is to hang out with our nephew. I love him more than anything in the entire world. And then the second one was, oh, we're gonna be taking like family pictures all together, so you'll need to wear makeup and outfit for that. Kudos. Finally, I wanted to thank, why? I just like, should I just cover my eyes and not look at you? You're not even there, it's just camera. The last thing I want to do is to thank all of you. I'm just gonna get through this and not look at the camera. For all of the really nice messages that I got when I posted all of this, and like the really sweet DMs and stuff. And yeah, I was not able to like respond to everyone, but I don't think that there was one that I didn't read. Like, I tried really hard to read all of them. I tried really hard to like read all of the comments on the engagement post as well, but especially the DMs, because people sent some like really sweet things. And yeah, just the amount of people who have said that like they grew up watching me, you've like seen me go through so much and in my life and stuff, and like how happy you are, and how and just how it kind of feels like your best friend or your big sister got engaged, and it's really exciting. Just have another look at her. Just another look. What a beauty. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls. Love their rings. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking around and watching, and also just thank you for being here for this long. If you have kind of grown up with me and watched all of this happen, I don't know, this just feels crazy, doesn't it? Like, I am still that girl in a little blue room doing a waterfall braid. Like, I know it feels like that for you, but like, that feels like it for me. Like, what? Who said I could get married? Also, calling someone your fiance feels so forced. I don't know, maybe it's just like the French word of it all that like us Americans use, and it just feels so like I'm trying to get like a free spring roll or something like when I use it. I still haven't. I just keep calling him my boyfriend, and then people like will look at my finger and I'm like, oh yeah, he's my fiance. Okay, I'm just gonna be done. I'm gonna be done. Thank you all. I really appreciate you all. I don't know why this is like, I don't know. This is like what I would assume for a lot of people what like telling your family is like. And like I hate when like people online and like influencers are like, oh, like my followers and people who watch me, like we're like a family, because a lot of the time that just feels like really manipulative. It's like when your boss calls like, oh, we're all a family, and you're like, I'm overworking and I have no stocks in this company. Stocks? Shares? Stonks? I'm really gonna be done because I need to not cry. Okay, goodbye. Should this be how I end all my videos? Goodbye now. He did it.